Plotting a book can be as simple as clicking on this button and having 24 chapters created for you, each benchmarked at 2,500 words, each within their corresponding act, and each with a short chapter summary providing guidance on what to write about. Now, if you're prone to get stuck with story structure and you need a bit of help with plotting, this book plotting template can be a huge time saver for you. Now, as writers, it's a pretty bad feeling to be stuck and not know where to go. The sheer volume of narrative choices can be paralyzing, and for this reason, sometimes just putting up guardrails and pre-plotting your story can really help you narrow your focus and allow you to spend your creative energy breathing as much life as possible into a specific scene rather than having your creative energy wobble around in a scattered fashion looking for direction. Sometimes the simple act of giving yourself less narrative choice is an incredibly liberating creative experience. It allows you to focus your creative energies deeply rather than broadly. Now, if you don't know, we're Scribble, a writing tool that helps writers create more compelling books, and we're a bit obsessed with writing structure. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to look at this book plotting template in more detail, and I'm going to explore how you can use it as a jumping off point when writing your own novels. So first of all, in a previously uploaded tutorial, I showed you how we use this template to reverse engineer the structure of this short story, The Overcoat by Nikolai Gogol. Now, I'll link to that video below, but essentially what I wanted to show you in that video is that working with writing templates doesn't result in the creation of novels which are essentially all the same. Each plot card, which you see here, can just be seen as a container or the shape that holds the content of the chapter. The container itself just helps provide focus, and a pre-planned sequence of containers just ensures that each one flows into the next in a logical manner. Okay, so let's get this template set up. So first we have to log into Scribble, so I'm going to log into my account here. Again, link to Scribble in the description below. So now that I'm logged in, I need to set up a new book. So I'll set up my book's details here, and then I'll click on Create Book. Next, I'll click on my newly created book and then head over to this book's writing pad. Now on this page, I have no chapters added yet. And when I'm using templates in Scribble, it's really important not to have any chapters added yet. When I click on Add Chapter, you'll see this button to use a template. But if I had chapters already created, then this button wouldn't appear. So you have to be working on a blank novel. So now all I need to do is I just need to click on this Use a Template button, and then I'll select this 24 chapter template here. Now the entire 24 chapter book with chapter summaries and properly placed plot points is already created for me. There is of course no content within any of these chapters, but the structure is all there. So to see this structure, simply head over to Plot Visualization, and here you'll notice the 24 chapters laid out into 3 acts. Now at the top here you have your first act chapters. The middle 2 groups are your second act chapters. And here you'll notice that we actually have 2 sections which represent Act 2. Here we have Act 2A, which is the first half of the second act, where the protagonist is still navigating their new circumstances. They are often still quite passive, still often very similar to the character they were at the beginning of the story. But in the second half of the second act, or Act 2B, which you see here, the protagonist has generally, at least to some degree, transformed from a bit of a victim into a little bit more of a warrior. So these chapters correspond to these changes as well. And then lastly, down here, you can see we have the chapters relating to the third act. Okay, so a few things here. First, you'll notice that each plot card has writing suggestions. Now, these are writing prompts that help provide direction with regards to what the chapter's focus should be. Also, if you roll over this little icon here, you'll see which, if any, plot point this chapter belongs to. If a chapter doesn't belong to a plot point, it will show this icon here. Also, plot points are clearly marked by these color highlight boxes here. So you'll see here that we have our inciting incident. Here's our first plot point, first pinch point, midpoint, climax, and so on. Now, this is one of the beautiful things about using a novel plot template like this, and that's that essentially it provides the proper sort of pacing and rhythm between chapters. Now next, we just need to write our actual chapters. Now, in order to fill in our world with details, we simply need to head back to our writing pad over here and then just start working on our first chapter. When we click on the chapter we want to edit, we'll also be able to see the chapter summary here. So we can use this for guidance, but if we want to break away from this writing prompt or even using this template, we can simply click on this chapter edit icon here and then make any changes we want. Also, keep in mind that this template was set up to produce a full-length novel, 24 chapters at 2,500 words per chapter, and therefore the total book size would be around 60,000 words, which is a pretty normal word count for commercial fiction or nonfiction. Now, of course, you can change your novel or chapter target word counts at any time, but these default values give you tentative targets to start working towards. Remember, in Scribble, you can always monitor your chapter progress over in the sidebar here, and you can always monitor your overall book progress in the top bar here. This allows you to easily zoom in on smaller daily goals, like your chapter word count here, while at the same time allowing you to zoom out and see your overall book progress on the same page. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you found this novel plotting template helpful. Also, if you're new to Scribble writing software, I'll include a link to our 10-minute Getting Started with Scribble tutorial below. Thanks for stopping by today, and don't forget to subscribe to be the first to get more writing resources like this.